What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga review, where today we're going to be reviewing the fan manga entitled Dragon Ball X, which is a fan-made manga set to take place after the events of Dragon Ball GT, and for many years now I've been reviewing and looking over fan-made Dragon Ball concepts and mangas, so today we'll be diving into a brand new chapter of this manga, with the events of Dragon Ball X having to take place right after the events of Goku vs Omega Shenron, following the overusage of the Dragon Balls. And with that, we pick up with Dragon Ball X chapter number 15, entitled Surpassed the Master, as we have a little bit of a recap to both Goku and Uub, back when Goku was training Uub, and Uub saying, "Sir, before getting home, can we actually go fishing?" And he said, "I promised my family I would bring something to eat," with Goku saying, "Alright, let's bring them some dinner, thank you, sir." And then Goku says, "Hold on tight, Uub," with Goku teaching Uub how to fly, and then we even see Goku and Uub in front of like this giant rock, and Goku saying, "No, Uub, you're not hitting the rock with enough strength," but Goku saying, "You'll see physical strength is not what matters here, but the control of its ki, and as for you, it'll be claimed, I'll show you," with Goku demonstrating to Uub how exactly he can completely break an entire boulder just by doing the 1-inch punch. Now, if you pay attention closely, the part where Goku completely breaks the boulder in two is actually a tribute to Bruce Lee's 1-inch punch, and in which case Goku breaks the entire boulder in half just by actually cracking it with 2 fingers. And we see how Uub says, "Wow," and Goku saying, "Now it's your turn." So this is typical Dragon Ball. We see how Goku has taken up a pupil in training Uub and essentially becoming one of the greatest, even going as far back as the Universal Tournament, where we see Uub battling up against Pikkon, with the referee saying, "Impressive, this final battle is very tight. Little Uub is fighting as equals with Pikkon." So this manga chapter gives us an idea as to how strong Uub was at that given time, and he was just as strong as Pikkon in the finals. And even King Kai says, "I must congratulate you, Goku. Uub has improved a lot during those 2 years you've been training him. He's learned rapidly." And we get to see how Pikkon uses his traditional fighting pose to execute his final move, with Uub getting ready to dodge it, and we get to see how Goku says, "Oh no, Uub, he doesn't know that technique, his body won't last it," and we see how Pikkon fires off the Thunder Flash attack, and Uub quickly teleports behind Pikkon in using that 1-inch punch and striking Pikkon behind his neck, instantly knocking him down. And we get to see how the referee says, "Knocked down." That move seemed to have seriously damaged the competitor Pikkon, with the winner being obviously enough Uub by the end of this tournament. So we see how Goku says, "Wow, that hit was very difficult to actually connect," and more so in doing it because he was supposed to dodge, Pikkon's attack, and nobody really ever thought that Uub would make such a counter, with King Kai saying, "What's more is he didn't need to attack. I mean, twice enough, he already used 2 of his fingers." So Uub at that point was learning greatly, and we get to pan out when we see Goku, and now we strikingly see evil Super Saiyan 5 Goku, with us picking up right where Goku left off and separating Majuub from Uub's body, and Piccolo says, "How did you undo that union? Not even gods have that capacity." And Goku replied by saying, "It worked, and it's not even a Namek," with Uub saying, "I didn't know he had that ability. This has gotten even harder, and also it's gotten more exciting." So to Uub, he seems so excited about this, and we get to see how Majin is pretty much laid down on the floor, with Uub having to connect to Kaio-sama telepathically and saying, "Kaio-sama, could you find something out?" with King Kai saying, "No, I haven't found anything out yet. I think it's going to be something out of my scope. I see," and with Uub saying, "Then I have no other choice, I'll have to take the risk." And we see how King Kai says, "Wait, you are thinking about using," with Uub having to say, "It's my only option at his level," with King Kai saying, "No, I forbid you. I told you you cannot use it because you're merged with Buu, but now your body, it's too young to resist and you'll die. Hey, are you even listening to me?" And we see how Uub just completely forgets about King Kai's words and saying, "Don't use that move, don't use that technique," with evil Super Saiyan 5 Goku looking at Uub and saying, "Wow, your power has diminished a lot. You're no match for me anymore. How sad," with Uub having to say, "You think so?" And then he rips off his shirt, and then all of a sudden he starts to power up, and then that's when Uub says, "It's great that you're that powerful because I always wanted to try this technique," with King Kai saying, "Don't be stubborn, it'll be worthless, you'll only trash your body even more." So one can only make the assumption here that Uub is going to use Kaioken. At what level of Kaioken is unknown, but Uub has always wanted to learn and actually demonstrate Kaioken for himself, with the chapter giving us an idea of how far back Uub went with Goku and having to train him and having to compete with him. And Uub doesn't seem that worried, but he also wanted King Kai to find something out for him, in which King Kai didn't have any information, in which this is Uub's only option of fighting such a strong warrior. And if you ask, ask me, I think that in essence, Super Saiyan 5 Goku, logically speaking, would be more than enough to handle someone like Uub, but in this case, we see how Uub is demonstrating a technique, in which case leads us into Dragon Ball X chapter number 16, entitled Uub Plays with the Death. And we start off with Uub powering up, and then he just immediately rushes towards Goku, and just like classic Goku used to do, we see how Uub punches Goku in the face, and it sends Goku flying, with Uub having to catch up, grabbing him by the leg, and swinging him all over the ground until he throws him up in the air, shoots right behind them, and Uub says, I hope I can connect the hit well with him and leave him unconscious. That'll give us time to find out a little bit more. And Uub tries to do the exact same thing that he did against Pikkon and seeing if it can work, because obviously Goku had taught him this, and we see how Goku just quickly braces himself before impact, and we see how Uub is pretty much pissed off at the idea that he wasn't able to connect that same shot because he knows it can work, and then Goku launches the exact same blast that managed to kill Trunks, with Uub having to dodge it in time, and then we see the two collide, and that's when we see Uub pretty much kick Goku in the face. He flies into the rubble, and we get to see how Uub says, wait, a weird energy ball, and that's when Goku's down on the ground, and he says, how does he know how to duplicate his power in an instant? And without having to need to transform either, he may be forcing his body to externalize all that power, but doing that for too long would be very, very risky unless he has thought of something to defeat me rapidly with. I must not neglect this. I'll have to use all my power. So Super Saiyan 5 Goku already realizes that Uub is up to something. He's managed to externally release a lot of energy, and Uub is looking to end this quickly, which was why he wanted to connect that shot behind Goku's neck until Goku moved out the way, and Goku stands back up from the rubble, and we get to see how Uub is talking to himself and saying, I'm starting to feel the consequences of using Kaioken. Kaiosama and Master Goku were right. This technique is pretty much exhausting, but I'm not worried about it because the hit I want to connect only requires concentration. I must find the exact moment. So Uub is looking desperately to connect this one single move to end Goku with, in which Goku charges Uub and they resume their battle, with Piccolo having to say both of them are monsters. They have oversized powers, but Uub does it well to set a melee attack. Otherwise, damage over the earth would be catastrophic if they don't destroy the whole planet already. So Piccolo is already realizing that both of them have extreme powers, but as of right now, it looks like they're trying to focus their energy and their concentration on each other, which is why even Kaiosama even said, don't continue, Uub. If you can face him now, that'll be your last time if this actually wears out on you, because Kaioken right now is beginning to take its effect on Uub, with Kaiosama saying, or do you not remember what I told you? And Uub having to say, do you notice that evil presence? And Uub having to say, yes, Kaiosama, I'll go there immediately. So it looks like Uub has a plan, with King Kai saying, don't be hasty, Gohan is already on his way, and you could not do much now. You better go meditate to concentrate your ki, or you can just simply use Kaioken until it exerts your body. And Uub having to say the Kaioken, but you forbid me from using it, my body is still too young, with King Kai having to say, yes, but your union with Buu has not only given you a higher power, but new techniques, but also has made your body a bit more mature, so you won't have great difficulties because, according to my calculations, you'll subject him rapidly. Meanwhile, Gohan can hold him, and I'll be able to find out more over that guy. So King Kai tells Uub that Gohan has recovered, he's coming back on his way, so he tells him you can use Kaioken if you want, it's only going to destroy your body. Even though your body hasn't matured, you can take the shot, because if it works, Gohan can hold him down, and King Kai can figure out more information, with Uub having to say, fine, I'll do it. By the way, to whom does that evil key belong to? And that's when King Kai says, you'll know it when you get there. And that's when King Kai says, and now your young body is going to start to suffer the consequences, be careful. And Uub, while fighting Goku the whole time, he was talking to King Kai, and Uub having to say, I can't find the chance to give him that blow, but I still have energy. So Goku and Uub are colliding all across the canyon, and Uub's body is really beginning to break down on him, because the more he exudes energy, the more it's going to cost him, in which case, as Goku and Uub settle back down, we see how all of a sudden, we see how Uub pretty much lands on his ankle, and he falls down, with Piccolo having to be shocked, and we see Uub saying, damn, I broke my leg, that last clash. So that last clash that he engaged in with Goku actually caused Uub to break his leg, with Goku having to laugh and saying, well, 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 this is as far as you can go, Mr. Hero. I knew it was only a matter of time before your body collapsed. That's impossible if you bear all that power. And that's what Uub says, hell, I still have the energy with me, but my leg, there's nothing more I can do. With Goku having to mock Uub and saying, very well, it was a pleasure to meet you guys, but I will make sure not to leave a single trace of this miserable planet as I leave, with evil Super Saiyan 5 Goku cocking back his hands in the form of a Kamehameha. So this episode pretty much, this entire chapter pretty much summarized Uub having to, trying to use Kaioken as much as he can, with his body having to be, even though his body was mature enough, after the whole merger with Buu, we still see that the level of Kaioken that he's using, although it's unknown, it's taking a huge toll on his body, and Uub can't begin to function. And even that final clash, as he went kick for kick with Goku, managed to break his entire leg. So as he came down, he landed on his leg, which caused it to break, and now we end off the chapter with Goku having to cock his hands back and destroying the entire planet, with Uub wishing that he had the chance to deliver that single blow to the neck because that was his only opportunity. But post your comments down below, guys. What are your overall thoughts on Uub versus Super Saiyan 5 Goku? What are your overall thoughts on Uub having to execute that one technique on Goku in which he wants to do, but he just can't seem to get behind him in time? What are your overall thoughts on the way Goku's going to be destroying the entire planet if he does so? Comment down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys love Dragon Ball, if you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all the latest in Dragon Ball news, information, updates, discussions, and of course reviews. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go on ahead and slap a like down below. Tune back in for more. The things are only going to pick up from here. The finale of Dragon Ball X is coming, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next Dragon Ball X manga chapter. Take it easy, guys. Peace!